in the crosshairs and anti-Semitism rising, even in America. Our movement of over 8 million Christians is standing up and saying no more.
Christianity owes a debt of gratitude to the Jewish people, and we ought to aggressively, with everything at our disposal, wage war against anti-Semitism in its every form.
Plus, we get the inside story on the fight against anti-Israel radicalism on America's college campuses, and an Auschwitz survivor shares a powerful message for today. All that and much more, only right here on The Watchman.
Take away the Jewish contribution to who we are, and we wouldn't exist. Christianity owes a debt of gratitude to the Jewish people, and we ought to aggressively, with everything at our disposal, wage war against anti-Semitism.
College campus. President Trump recently, with the signing of an executive order, the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, is trying to confront that hatred on college campuses. Tell us a bit more about that act, Pastor, and how it holds the anti-Semites on campus accountable. And by the way, again, you were at the signing of this executive order.
Yes.
In D.C. at the White House, and our team at CUFI had been lobbying for this, pushing for this legislation for years. Now we have it. Could this be a game changer in the fight against anti-Semitism?
Absolutely, it is an enormous game changer. What the president has said when he signed this executive order is that if you as a college or a university allow anti-Semitism to prosper or you participate in it, you will lose all of your federal funding. I cannot wait for the day that some professor who is so anti-Semitic he dares to try the president and press this issue. When that university is taken to the woodshed and they lose their federal funding, it will be a hooray and hallelujah day for everybody who's fighting anti-Semitism.
Tell us a little bit more.
There's a very strategic pushback toward anyone who identifies as pro-Israel, be they Jewish or be they Christian. And when you stand up and speak out on this issue that is being targeted for intimidation, not only from the student groups on campus whose entire goal is to demonize Israel and sway a campus's entire narrative with the lies about Israel, but it's coming from administration. It's coming from faculty. For our Christian students on campus who are speaking out for Israel, they'll have faculty come up to their table and intimidate them and try to shut them down and repeat the lies that they're hearing in the classrooms as well. But to confront them in the public space on campus is not something uncommon for our students. And one of the things that we're seeing more of is students coming up to our students who are advocating for Israel and telling them the Holocaust was fabricated, that it never happened, and that the Jewish people made it up to create Israel and displace a people. The lies, the misinformation, and the intimidation of a pro-Israel student is very real. And it's not just peer-to-peer in cases where a Christian student who's speaking up for Israel is called before the Justice Board on a college campus to explain why they're not a hate group. Talk about turning truth upside down. Talk about misleading information and trying to intimidate people who are trying to educate their peers about what's really going on, who our greatest ally is, where we need to go as a future of our nation in truth and moral clarity, when they're dismantling moral clarity and putting up moral relativism and trying to silence the voice of students who are pro-Israel. We have a campus chapter where one of our students is friends with a Jewish student who's referred to as Jew boy when he walks by certain groups on campus. Statistically, from 2018 to 2019, there were 1 100,000 incidents of anti-Semitism reported on U.S. college campuses. The forms that the pushback takes can be anything from one of our Christian students tabling with information about Israel, the humanitarian aid work they're doing to improve the world, and as they're sitting there, someone will walk by and spit on them, or they'll throw a stone at them. So the students are getting the pushback and the conflict in a way they're feeling bodily unsafe. I myself, at a UCLA divestment hearing, felt unsafe to walk across the campus at night because of the hate that was coming at anyone who's pro-Israel. I felt unsafe and I was looking over my shoulder. I can't imagine how that small group of Jewish students who were off to the side in the corner while hundreds of students were screaming hatred and lies. I can't imagine how they feel every single day. What we're seeing on campus is very well-organized, well-funded groups. Students for Justice in Palestine. They go to massive conferences. The last one was in Minnesota, where they spent several days being trained on how to attack Israel and pro-Israel students. They go back to these campuses, and when our students hold events, they bring a pro-Israel speaker. For instance, we just had a Kufai campus student hold an event in Rhode Island on her college campus. There were 100 protesters who came out to intimidate her, silence her, keep her from sharing her voice on this issue. The exact same thing happened in Florida. 100 protesters came to our students' event where we're trying to share about what's going on in Israel, the truth about the impact they're making, the bias on campus that's destroying healthy communication, university, out of many one. This is the place you're supposed to be having conversations. And our students are out there educating, saying, I support Israel because I'm a Christian, because I support human rights, because I support social justice, because I support minority rights, because I support the freedom of Christians in the Middle East, where Christians are being slaughtered everywhere in the Middle East, except in Israel. I support Israel because I'm a Christian. I wish the alumni who are supporting these universities really knew what was going on and what they're funding, because their children are going to these campuses and they're being attacked, they're being brainwashed, they're being reprogrammed. And if it wasn't for Kufai on campus bringing them together and giving them the language and the understanding and helping them see the big picture of what's going on, when they tell you this is what they mean. This is what is truth. Without Kufai on campus, these students would be powerless to articulate the pro-Israel Christian message for the next generation. We educate our students at Kufai on campus to be able to not only identify lies, but to articulately dismantle them and bring truth.
Folks, you see the information there on your screen. When you join our team at Christians United for Israel, you are helping to support these brave Christian students who are standing with their Jewish classmates, standing for Israel in the belly of the beast, the American college campus. Now, when these students say never again, they mean never again. And coming up after the break, we will head to Auschwitz to meet a man who lived it. Don't move.
If there's one thing we need to learn from the Holocaust, is those signposts along the road. And when we see them, we must recognize them. There are those in the world today who would like to repeat this with a vengeance, with more modern technology. The playbook used by Nazi Germany, developed by the chief propaganda minister Goebbels, is in full use today. And that is why I'm so happy you're here, because you understand. You see this cattle car where 100 and some odd people were inside this for days, sometimes weeks. With no bathrooms, no running water. And understand when you see the signposts along the road to Auschwitz.
As I walk around here at Auschwitz-Birkenau and I touch this barbed wire, which, by the way, would have been electrocuted during the Holocaust. There would have been snarling dogs coming through this barbed wire to bite my hand off as submachine guns pointed at me from the guard towers in the very near distance, manned by Nazi stormtroopers. All that said, it's coming to life for me now. We see movies like Schindler's List on TV. They're in black. See it now. And as I see it, there's a lot of emotions washing over me. The number one most prominent emotion is righteous anger. Righteous anger at the evil, demonic acts that were perpetrated here at Auschwitz by the Nazis. Now, I can stand here and I can talk about it. You can sit there at home and listen to me talk about it, or together, you and I can do something about it. The best thing I know how to do is to join Christians United for Israel. If only CUFI existed during the Holocaust, during World War II, maybe things could have been different. But right now we have a chance because we can do something.